This is Targan. I'm coming at you again with more hardcore Minecraft. And I don't know if I hit the button properly. It's showing up now. Anyway. It updated something. I'm sure everything is fine. Well, first things first. We will give a seed to Garuda. Then I just need to clean up my inventory a little bit, and then we're going to go on an adventure. Do I have rockets? I have 7 rockets. Oh, I have plenty of gunpowder, though. And we'll no doubt want that terracotta for something someday. But right now, we're just trying to get on the road, essentially. I don't think I have any gunpowder laying around. I never have extra gunpowder anymore. But the mace? No, we don't need the mace. We've got our trident. All we need is enough inventory space, and then we'll be good to go. I need another box for a lot of things. And yet, I seem to be relatively unlikely to get them. But there's nothing left to do except put stuff in this that doesn't belong. Got a bunch of doors. We don't need that book, but I'll put it in here anyway because this is where I happen to be right now. And we'll go mend the elytra up and then be on our way. And I absolutely cannot elytra fly in first person. It is, you know, I don't move very much in the first person in this game anyway. But I think we'll just, got some carrots, yeah. We'll carrot up the pigs since there's a little bit of room in the pen. And that should get us sorted out. I don't think we'll need to get our shovel better. Our pickaxe is a little in need of mending, but we'll just see. So we've got plenty of carrots, so there's no reason to stop here. Might as well get a little bit of work on the shovel done. You never know when you're going to need to use the shovel a lot. And those are the moments, those exact moments, when you may not notice the durability of your tools. And it's not the worst feeling in the world to break one of your very good Minecraft tools, but it is not an awesome feeling. You very much can sort of look out into the distance and think, why have I done this? Thief! Stop! Thief! Which way did he go, George? Well, I think he got away with it. You know, he was quick. That's important. He caught me while I was farming. It's been so long since an Enderman killed me while I was farming, but, you know, you don't forget. I know the title of this stream was not, I'm gonna farm some, but I'm gonna farm some first. Look, the titles are mainly like theoretical guidelines. One has to go, you know, where your heart leads. Where one's heart leads. You should continue the way that the nouns work in a sentence if possible. Unless you're doing it for art. Which I wasn't. I forgot that I did the one thing as if I was like, I don't know, 150 years old or went to a private school. Neither one is true. Shockingly, I'm not quite that old. And unsurprisingly went to public school. We're just gonna put some seeds over here. It's like I thought that was Bella for a second, but it's just a normal cat, so they can carry on. And we're putting the seeds and stuff here because I know we won't have room at home, but we'll take a stack up to Garuda because we'll go up to say goodbye before we leave here. Do we have more paper? No, they have not grown. Hi, Renee. How are you on this fine night? Ah, yes, my bed is still over here. Most excellent. But we don't have, like, nearly enough cows here, so we're gonna mend up the shovel and increase our cow amount. Very important. After all, we might come back after all sorts of weirdness and need to get a lot of experience. And there are so many schools of thought on the right way to do that, but I think having pens of animals and feeding them and then whacking them with swords is one of the best and most efficient ways. It's probably not, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I care that there are better ways. I don't. That's right. This was a chest where I had, like, given up on everything. Everybody's seen that happen before. Well, it doesn't matter. We are just about ready to start doing the thing in the title. I know, very exciting stuff. But first we'll go home. For everyone will have been missing us. I mean, not really. We were just here. They're like, oh, I thought you were gonna go and, like, bring honor to the family. And you're still messing around here. I know, guys. I know. I'm about to go to work, boss. I swear. Do I have a bed on me? No, we will make one out of this wool, and we'll just get some more wood somewhere. Yeah. We'll get some more wood somewhere. I need to make more doors maybe anyway. 15's a good amount of doors. Ah, I ran into the wall. It's alright. Even if I ran into the wall really hard, my handy golden idol will protect me. But I don't know exactly how anything works. This is not surprising. But what I want to do is take some coral and move it from where it is to where it isn't. Because I think if I had some that was like if I did a cool little coral reef here, and then I would do like some sand over the stone to make it look like it was sandy, and then I could do like a little terracotta thing in a strip like Badlands, and that could be a cool thing here at the base of the Spawn Mountain. And so that's the short version of my thought processes. That's not all going to happen today. Maybe none of it'll happen ever, but that's the idea. That's what we want to do with the coral. But of course, in order to do that, first we have to find where it is, as I've already identified just then where it isn't, and then we will try to collapse the two together. gradually. And then suddenly, I am looking forward to it. But I do recall that there is a massive coral reef this way. I've almost certainly been inside of this ocean monument, because I think I rated the several that were close here. But if only I had done something to symbolize it. I probably said to myself when I did it, it doesn't matter, you're never going to do this very many more times, and thus it won't matter. So what we'll do is go into the water and very probably find a couple of doors. I might have checked at this exact one yesterday, I just don't remember. A couple of doors, yes, I probably checked at this exact one yesterday. But as my habit is always to put the doors right at the entrance, it is an easy way to see. Because usually on my way out, you know, you're always trailing so many guardians anyway. You sort of gotta hoof it, and even if I say, hey, I should, you know, symbolically mark this so that I don't get confused whenever we run into it again, well, I'll forget it because the guardians make crispy sounds at you. They make you feel like you have to move, even when you have plenty of time. And here's the coral reef that I knew would be here, because I have been here before. It's a wonderful coral reef. Immense. Unless it is very small. And not the one I thought we were getting into. Yeah, this is... Yeah, okay, so this is just this little one. We'll go to the bigger one and raid it so that this little cove can maintain. So I assume that coral can be moved to other waters, but that you just have to use Silk Touch, and you need to place it in water. But it's time to learn. I know if you hit coral without Silk Touch, it just like breaks it, and it gives you a block called Dead Coral, which should make anyone feel ashamed. Alright, so Bubble Coral Wall Fan. Is this how I grow coral? We're just gonna get samples of stuff. Just lots of samples, and then we'll take them home and try to figure out what's going on, or if we can even grow them in other water types, because these coral reefs are all taking place in warm oceans and sometimes maybe lukewarm oceans, but I don't think the one near our house is those things. We're just gonna hit them and then go up to the top. You know, this is for science. I'm not a monster. And I know you're gonna say, science, what you described was architecture and vanity. Okay, so not science. This is for architecture and vanity. But those things are important too. Or at least they have suddenly become important to me very recently. Don't ask me why or how. It's, you know, it's just how things are. I decided that we needed to destroy something beautiful to make our mark on the world. Like so many before me. I thought Why not go underwater without breathing apparatuses and hit coral with a pickaxe? What could go wrong? That's, you know, I shouldn't even joke. That's bad. Don't do that. Don't look at what I'm doing here and think that it's okay. What I'm doing is bad, and I should feel bad about it. This coral was alive, and now look at it. Reduced to blocks. Three-dimensional pain. Alright, I just need a little bit more space. Alright, so the F3 on these coral blocks on the fans said underwater bone meals, so very promising. And I'm hoping that that'll be like ways to grow more coral potentially. This is a tube coral, you know, maybe that'll be something. I need slightly more inventory space. I have tons, but there we go, tube coral fans. So these may be the coral themselves, and maybe everything derives from them. So yeah, there we go, underwater bone meals. So we're gonna try to find the proper coral. So we got the bubble coral. I don't know if the coral fans are the same, but perhaps they need both. But now that I know the coral is a thing besides the blocks, I know what to look for, and we will destroy the reef for our own benefit. I mean, for science, unless it's not science. I already said it's for vanity and architecture. Hello, Natasha. But speaking of vanity and architecture, we also need gunpowder. That's an important facet of our future. So we are going to swing on over to this Badlands desert thing here. And this should be a nice place to go and get some gunpowder. And then we can take the corals back home. Maybe we won't find an ocean monument. You know, that wasn't an important part of the plan. It was merely a part of the plan. And I'm pleased enough to abandon it. Alright. I'll say a couple of my least favorite words. Due to limited inventory space, we need to make sure we pick up the gunpowder first. Or wait, I have some in a bundle. So now, due to limited inventory space, it doesn't matter what we pick up first. And we're just gonna get, you know, some various supplies, like bones that are attached to skeletons and bones that aren't, and of course more gunpowder, because although I have 20 rockets, way more would be better. I need to start brainstorming on the creeper thing that people always talk about. So I know mobs spawn in areas, you know, that are dark, so I could build a dark area. And then just try to manipulate what spawns there somehow. Creepers spawn anywhere. Not everything spawns anywhere. We could do one with a bunch of water, but I don't know if they spawn in the water. There's a witch over there. We're going to shoot him from really far away. I know what you're saying. You're saying you just missed him. But I also, in a similar way, didn't miss him. And come on, please. Oh, I'm embarrassed. I really thought that one was going to hit. Alright, now that that's all sorted out. So my buddy at work, I think he said something about like how like carpets, maybe like slabs and carpets could restrict what spawns in places. He also suggested I look it up, but I said, no, I'm not looking things up yet. I thought about looking things up, and then I said, no, there's actually so many things I don't know, and I would like to not know all of them until I find out. Is this salt? Oh, sugar. Sure. Oh, the witch. You know, in case they wanted to put some sugar in a potion. I don't know. I don't know why the witch would have sugar. It had to have been the witch, though. Maybe they were just out to, like, borrow an egg from one of their neighbors, and it was all a misunderstanding. It'll be like the true story of the Three Little Pigs. Oh, I should have been using my looting sword that whole time. That's pretty bad. Hello, that one trombone. Fortunately, I have a massive bone meal supply. I'm glad you like the music, that one trombone. It is by Clean and Dance, called N Joan. It is part of the YouTube audio library that they provide to creators. I guess I am technically a creator, although it seems ridiculous to say it. To people that make videos for free. And that's what all the music that I play in, like, my Minecraft videos and stuff is stuff that they provide. But I like it. I try to remove the stuff from because I have like a sub library of it that I have on essentially random most of the time. But I try to get rid of the songs that I don't like, but sometimes or that I just like that I don't find appealing in the context of playing video games too. You know, I couldn't tell that you played the trombone. Sometimes people just have names, but you know, I'm sure you're better at playing the trombone than I am. I was a percussionist, so if you're in band, you know, I'm just a very typical percussionist. No, not true. I learned how to read music, so you know, I was top tier of high school percussionists. But you know, nothing but respect to anyone who actually had to properly learn an instrument, because nothing but mad disrespect to my percussionist brothers and sisters out there. We all know that we were just messing around the whole time. There's this dude, he practiced all the time. He ended up like 10% better than me. If I played trombone and never practiced, and there was a dude that practiced all the time, you would totally be able to tell. And this dude was only barely better at drumming than I was. Anyway, clearly being a drummer is a laudable thing, but I'm just messing around a little bit. I was very much the stereotype of a high school percussionist, you know, always reading books and talking trash and pretending to know the part, but actually just winging it immediately as we went because I was in high school percussion and band wasn't very hard. Like I said, all my friends never even learned even how to read music most of the time. We would just write down, like, if they got made to play xylophone, they would just write down the names of the notes, like the letters, you know, over top of it. Because, well, on a keyboard, it's spatially right there. Anybody can hit the F key, I hope. And, you say trombone's very easy, much better than trumpet? Yeah. A couple of my siblings played trumpet. But, I didn't want to be in band at all, but I had to be. And I knew that my dad didn't want me to play percussion, but that I would be able to if I wanted to anyway. And I just didn't want to be in band, and so my compromise was doing the thing I knew he didn't want me to do. Because one of my siblings or a couple of them played flute, and there's a couple clarinet players, a couple trumpet players, a couple percussionists. I have a large family. But I had like piano lessons when I was a kid, but I was like, I'm lousy. Like, I do not know how to play piano. I wouldn't say that. I describe myself as having had piano lessons, but what I really like is the part of percussion where you get to hit a big piece of metal with like a hammer. For my money, that's the best way to play a musical instrument. There's nothing like it in the world. You just get like a really big piece of metal, and then you hit it with something. Ah, it's great. Or we did this one song where it was like a sea song, a song of the ocean, and we got these big chains, and we built wooden boxes, and we like picked up and dropped the chains on the boxes to simulate the sounds, you know, of like that sort of like anchor action, or like the thumping of things on board a ship in the Age of Sail. And it was great. And that's what I played for that whole song. I just picked up a chain and threw it down, which is a good workout too. And one of the coolest instruments I ever played in band. But I'm glad that you're having fun with the trombone. It sounds like you're liking it better than some of the other choices. That was always the fun thing about percussion, is there's so many different parts that you often, even if you don't like some song, it's a very different experience all the time. And because I didn't want to be in band, that was a nice thing. I like music, but I don't like doing it. You're carrying the other classes, everyone missed the music bit other than low brass. Oh no, that would have sounded so funny. Alright, what do we need to do? First, some rockets, so I will check out my very small automated sugarcane farm. I'm so proud of it. It's wonderful. And then there's this part here that's not automated, but I hit it as well. It lets me know if any action at all has happened, and then we'll just grab the very reasonable amount. Yeah, just 5. It happens. We must have raided it for parts not long ago. First things first, all this kelp's gotta go. What music do I listen to? Oh, lots and lots of things. So my favorite band is called Ockerville River. Another one of my favorite bands is called the Mountain Goats. I'm always talking up the Mountain Goats, but they are not technically my favorite band, because your favorite band is whatever you say it is, right? And my favorite band is Ockerville River because it's been my favorite band for longer, you know, that kind of thing. But I like stuff in tons of different genres. So there's like a couple different genres of like electronic, like lo-fi music that I like. I listen to lo-fi beats to study / relax / chill / game too, just like everybody else does. Synthwave and chillwave are cool. I really like 90s gangster rap. Like I love Bone Thugs and Harmony. I've been listening to them since I was a kid. Notorious B.I.G. The Fugees. I really like Kendrick Lamar as far as modern rappers goes. I know, very mainstream. My taste in rap is very mainstream. Uh, Wu-Tang Clan, all that stuff of that era. But I I was gonna come in here real quick and throw on a little music. 'Cause I have to take a cinematic laundry break where I swap the laundry over. So I'm just gonna do that real quick, and I'll be right back. Oh no, I interrupted the song. So, yes, other music. I could talk about music all day, so I'm gonna start doing that. Um, uh, so I also have like what I would call very typical taste in like classic rock and that kind of thing. I have sort of like an obsessive interest in Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd. I got incredibly into Bob Dylan for several years. Um, all that kind of thing. There was a time when I could like tell you most of the things that anybody knew about the band The Doors. Just very, very typical in that regard. I was super into like emo now. People would think of like My Chemical Romance and sort of that, but back in my day, because I'm old, right? Like I'm 38. So like emo music, but like as it would have been in like 2001, 2, and 3, like like Death Cab for Cutie, American Football, Bright Eyes, Cursive, Rilo Kiley, all the stuff on Saddle Creek. I love Alkaline Trio, a lot of the stuff on Vagrant in that time period, but Alkaline Trio is like one of my favorite bands. I used to just like wear Alkaline Trio shirts all of the time. Really, really love all that stuff. I like classical music. I don't listen to tons of it. Rachmaninoff is my favorite composer. Um, I like certain kinds of folk and country music, but usually like murder songs, like that sort of stuff, or like real working class anthems, like 16 Tons or Chain Gang by Sam Cooke. Speaking of Sam Cooke, I love Sam Cooke. He's not a folk singer, but but he's got all the soul in the world, and his song Chain Gang is wonderful, as well as most of the rest of his other stuff. I like folk punk a lot, so like Pat the Bunny, all of those old standards, like Days and Days, the Front Bottoms, McCafferty, all solid bands. Really big fan of the Front Bottoms, actually. I think their whole catalog is really excellent. But this is not building a coral reef. This is just talking to myself. I misplaced my rockets though. I made them and then I misplaced them. Yeah, like I said, I like a lot of different kinds of music. I haven't even talked about like metal. Like I have what I consider like a reputable taste in metal. I'm not like a metalhead, but metalheads, you know, I could talk with them about stuff. You know, you got like Opeth. My favorite Opeth album is Orchid, their first record, and I love it a lot. For my money, Orchid is just the best. But all of this is not me doing what I'm supposed to do. Where did I put the rockets? Did I just put them in here and forget? Yes. My chests are pretty unorganized, but sometimes they get along. But anyway, that's just some of the music that I like. I'm perfectly willing to keep on talking about it, but I'm not going to for the immediate future in case I've already annoyed people with it. But ask me again some other time, and I will tell you about more stuff. Like we haven't even talked about bin folds. We haven't talked about Regina Spektor. You know, like we haven't talked about No Doubt. We haven't talked about like all the great weird 90s alternative stuff that was good for like a year or two. We haven't talked about Counting Crows. We haven't talked about like all the mainstream pop stuff I like Lana Del Rey, you know, and Chapel Roan in the modern era, which, you know, everybody likes her now, but I like her too. But yeah, no, I have an enthusiastic interest in some of the arts, and music is one of the ones that I like a lot. I should make a chest. I should take the chest out of this bundle and put it onto the ground. Alright, I needed bone meal. I bet if I just hang out around here for too much time at night, some bones will present themselves, though. And we're gonna assume, like, logically that the coral types have to be attached to their preferred thing of coral. So we don't have any fire coral. We've got one horn coral, though, so let's just go ahead. It doesn't die, at least not immediately in this water, and it's just ocean, you know, no temperature gradient attached. Your profile pictures your friend Sophia's cat. It seems like a very nice cat, but I'm sure that, like all cats, it is capable of being mischievous and cruel. As the adage observes, the cat laughs, the mouse weeps. Okay, so it can be placed anywhere. Now we just need to see... You know, I could have tested this by where the roller coaster is, but I didn't. And that's okay. For now, we're going to test if they'll generate anything without anything else around them. We're just going to put them down first to give them a little bit of space. I doubt they would grow quickly. They are supposed to be coral, after all. It doesn't mean they won't, but... But the F3 screen, the valuable F3 screen, said that they are bone mealable. And the valuable skeleton is made of bones. You can tell by the way they are. And we will relieve them of the burden of being so bony. You can tell that it weighs heavily upon them. And now they have been lightened. Deboned. And that's important, you know, because the future of all skeletons, every single skeleton, is to become less skeleton than they previously were. And it's a foolishness, an exercise in complete vanity to attempt to avoid becoming less skeleton than you are, most especially if you're in front of my bow and arrow. Because, well, if you are made of bones, especially if I am on the hunt for bones, it's a bad time for you. But, oh no, I have been knocked back grievously far. This skeleton is much better at shooting me, and wishes me too to be made of bones. It won't work, for I am made of hardier stuff. Let this be a lesson to me, though. Some skeletons want to be bones more than others, but all of them ultimately will fall prey. No, stay here. I wish for you to become bones. He has run away again. We will find him. You don't play on computers, so you don't have... F3 is the hotkey for the debug menu, where I hit this and all these words come up. There's a lot of information on here in Java Edition. So if I hit, like, this dandelion, it says, you know, replaceable by trees. Also, I'm being hit by things. But it just tells you specific information about blocks. So when I went to the coral, a couple of them said bone mealable underwater. Right here. So short grass replaceable by trees, replaceable, and then it'll tell you what you're supposed to mine. So if I go over the stone, it says mineable with a pickaxe, goats can spawn on it, bats can spawn on it, moss replaceable. So that's a thing where if you put moss and you bone meal it, then moss will grow over that block. And not every block is moss replaceable. And so that's just like some extra information on the debug menu. But I use it a lot because I don't look things up on the internet about Minecraft, but I do often have questions, and that menu helps me answer just so many of them. It's awesome. And I'm pretty sure that's why they include so much information about it. It's just, you know, so if people are interested, they could see, you know, what's the game saying to itself right now that's making these results happen. Like, you could look at any, like, crop, like wheat has 7 ages, and you can look at it with that screen, and it'll tell you what age the wheat is, you know. Is it 7? Is it ready to pick? Because, like, whenever I had only grown, like, 1,000 wheat, it wasn't always clear to me. You're wearing your aesthetic blue light glasses? Do they make you look like a person that's counting the money in a Vegas room? Do you have like a little visor with the green thing on the top? I want to get one of those. Not because I need one, but because I think it would look hilarious. But I want a monocle more, because I figure, you know, just lean totally into the possible Batman villain aesthetic. And if I need glasses, why not get a sick monocle? And then, like, if I ever needed to, like, look at a legal contract or sign somebody's birthday card, I could be like, oh, wait, just a second. And then I could pull out my monocle and then look at it. And I feel like that could be a wonderful thing. And then people would have to, like, tell stories about it. And everybody that they told the story to would think they were making it up, because the addition of the cartoonishly large mustache to the monocle would make it very much seem as though they were just trying to get attention. The opposite is true. The mustache doesn't give me attention, it distracts from me. Whenever I'm in public, it's all people can see. And before they can actually address me as a person, I've already escaped. That is the protective power of a mustache. It's a disguise, which everyone should understand, as you have seen the glasses and mustache disguises. Well, I look very silly in my mustache. That is why I chose it. I thought it looked very funny and silly whenever I first got like one at all. I never thought I would become fond of it, and now it's rather a part of me. No, I don't always have one. I have for probably like 6 months though. It's probably this is the longest physical mustache I've ever had. It goes down like a little below my chin, which is marvelous. Eventually I'll be able to like braid little rawhide strips into it to protect them like a Viking. It'd be marvelous. Just wonderful. These are my dreams, you know. Like, I want to learn stuff about Minecraft, but not too much. We good? Alright. There's the Calvin and Hobbes comic, and I'll misquote it somewhat because I haven't looked at it recently, but Hobbes says to Calvin, you know, like, if you could have anything, what would you have? And if you could wish for anything, what would you have? And then, Hobbes says something along the lines of, you know, like, oh, I'd wish for a sandwich. And then Calvin says, ah, that's stupid. I'd wish for, you know, $1 million and this and that and that. And then the last panel is them in the kitchen, and Hobbes is like, he's got a sandwich. And he looks at Calvin and says, I got my wish. So, like, that's why my wishes are more reasonable. I just need bones to be slightly less bones, skeletons to degrade into occasionally more bones than before, but, you know, the same amount, but in a different configuration. The organizing principle of bones still remaining. I need this one to not be slain before I get around to it. There we go. Bones. No bones. And now we're going to see if we can learn anything about coral using these bones. But, you know, I don't want to tell people to not have dreams, but I think the route to enlightenment is being happy with what you have. Unless it's horrifying and you have to change it, but, you know, it's nice to get to a point where all I have to do is show up to work and not get burned in the huge fire in front of me, and not get burned on all of the, you know, incredibly hot stuff in front of me. And then I get to come home and play Minecraft. It's great. Because after all, the thing about fire is, it's very hot. And you might think that goes without saying, but when you work over one, it's a little different. And since fire's hot, you know, it reminds you to back away from it, and that's very handy. If you couldn't tell fire was hot, it would be even more unpleasant to be around it. Probably. But it always keeps me going to know that I'll be able to come home and play Minecraft or whatever. Oh no, I have shot? Alright, it is not bone mealable underwater. So it says underwater bone meals, but there might, you know, we might have other considerations. Does the coral need to be on a thing? Is it just a deceptive thing? Do we need to have all of them? So you can bone meal things underwater, and then make grass grow, but if you bone meal coral, it just does those things, which are not what we want. But like for these, how you could just place the blocks right on top of the grass and they disappear. That's if you hit F3, that's called replaceable. So like a lot of stuff you can't do that to. You can't just like put a block and get rid of a leaf on the tree, right? But you can get rid of those. Oh no, I hit it with the regular pickaxe and now it's dead, and I'm a bad person. Bone meal corals only work in warm oceans. Ah, thank you, Natasha. You know, I probably would have kept around. Hello, Lynn. I probably would have kept trying for a while. But alas, well, you know, that means the only thing to do is sort of garishly construct one here. That'll be fine. You know, we can go back to a coral reef and, oh, hi, Lynn. Thanks for stopping by. I don't know anything either. No, this is my hardcore world. And I was learning things about coral, like that I can't grow them here, but I'm still gonna go get more. Eventually, I'm gonna go get more right now. Come on, there we go. I've got 11 rockets. That'll definitely get me there and back. We just need to get up high, and then we can coast. But yeah, I've been playing Minecraft for like 6 months now, and this is my hardcore world. It's day 313 now. I killed the Ender Dragon in this world. It's the only time I've ever killed it, was in this hardcore world. My last hardcore world, well, there were a couple like short ones in between this one and that one, was like 334 days. But I play other games too. Lately I've been playing a ton of Hades, and I played some Terraria, but I'm bad and the inventory annoys me. But yeah, I just hang out, and we've got some nice pets at home. A lot of people find me aggravating with my style. Like, I didn't build a house for like 100 days in this world, and that often perplexed people who thought that I should have been doing it sooner. But because I don't look things up, I have situations like that where I try to bone meal things, but I'm not in the right area. But now, let's go here and learn about coral, shall we? We have got plenty of bones and bone accessories, so you bone meal the coral and you can get fans, but if you bone meal the coral blocks, you just get more fans. The cucumbers are more cucumbery. And they get fans of random corals on them, but not more blocks themselves. You say you prefer creative mode because you're bad at survival. You know, it's all about how you categorize being good at a thing, right? I mean, I played the game for a really long time before I even turned monsters on. I had mobs on at the very beginning, and then I didn't again. But yeah, in this world, I don't remember exactly when it was, but it was around 100 whenever I finally got around to building the house. Alright, so it gives you the proper coral. So you could just, if you were worried about being a monster, you could just get like one coral block. But you can't get... Alright, can you? How does one make coral? Can you make it out of fans? It's like, are coral blocks neither to be created nor destroyed, or can you break the fans and smash them into a coral block? These are questions. But we're gonna run home real quick and answer them. You can't? That's a shame. You know, it's not so bad. There's a lot of coral in the world. And having some things be a finite resource is fine. But this is like the prettiest world I've ever seen. This is just like a normal part of it. I really like the cherry grove biomes. I think they're very beautiful. I'm sure I'm not the only person that feels this way. But we'll go over by spawn. I've got 4 rockets, which means I should have enough. Oh wait, no, I've got gunpowder. We could just like find some paper somewhere. That'd be fine. But there's this awesome mountain, and there are just like a whole lot of cherry groves in this place. Just so many of them. Like you could probably walk for like 1,000 blocks from spawn and just be moving through cherry groves. It's pretty cool indeed. But we just needed to come here and acquire. Alright, I've got to have some wood in here, and it just doesn't want to let me see it. Where is the wood? Alright, I've got an ender chest, and that's the same. Oh my goodness. I'm never gonna make it out of this alive. All of this to make a little bit of paper. Anyway, the inventory is the final boss in any game. Yeah, same that one, Trombone. I just empty all my stuff into chests, and then whenever I finally have to look for something, I quit the game because I get sad about not being able to find it. But anyway, so this over here, where this cherry tree is, that's a 0-0, but I spawned like right over on this beach. The cherry tree wasn't there then. And so I looked out, and then I turned around, and this was the mountain. This was the site that greeted me. And there's a village over there where we went first. I am the absolute worst at Terraria. But you've got this nice mountain here, and I've got a cool little train track that goes around. There's some mountain goats there. You might be asking yourself, what's the best mountain goat song? There are many schools of thought. I think like color in your cheeks off Hill Hill for West Texas, that would be a good choice. My render distance is very far indeed. It is turned all the way up. This is just vanilla, so it's 32 chunks. Yeah, 32 chunks. But this is my house here. We've got, you know, plenty of cherry trees to look around to. And here's the dragon egg. So we've got our little crime family here. This is Garuda. He's our best friend. He only looks like a chicken. And this is our cat Belladonna. And then Luca, you can't see his name because he's chilling underneath the dragon head here. But Luca's the muscle. And we're getting on to midnight. So unfortunately, that's usually where we end the streams. But traditionally, we have a dance party with the crime family before we lay down. I went through a lot to get this disc. I almost died. Like, for real. It is a great music disc. Yep. But we always try to come home depending on how the stream's going. But normally when the song ends, we're like, alright, we're gonna end. But, Lynn, since you're new here, we'll have a special treat. And we'll stop over in my survival world so you can see my wheat field. I think you're gonna like it. Yes, a time for wheat. I will be sad, because normally, I don't even know where we're at in the wheat field, but where we're at with the wheat. We'll lay down first so that Bella can lay on our chest for the night, and then so that we can make her sit down so that when we start the next one, she's not going to run outside of the house. Some seeds for Garuda, we'll just put them up. Alright, so now we're going to go to the survival world real quick. This is the longest it's take to save a world ever. But, so normally I would have like a big reveal planned, but this is where I logged off earlier, so you're just going to get the field from, you're just going to get the field from the back perspective. It looks kind of like a lot of wheat, right? But we're here at the back of Wheat Mountain, and normally this is like the end of the tour, so like you'll just have to bear with me. Normally I introduce like in a whole different order, but so here's the top of Wheat Mountain, isn't it nice? It's my survival world, but I fly around in spectator for cinematic reasons, and because I haven't killed the dragon here. I've only ever killed the dragon in hardcore. So yeah, so this is like the beginning of the wheat field, and then we planted more. And so so this is Wheat Mountain here, right? So we started out on the back of it, but just for perspective, It's, you know, like it goes on this side too. It's not just like some little tiny mountain, you know. So that's this section here. And if you get above the clouds and look down, you can see that it is, I would call it, an above average amount of wheat. Maybe not an inspiring amount of wheat, but I hope an inspiring amount of wheat. I think it's nice. And there are some potatoes. They're not part of the wheat field, of course. But back when the wheat field was just this field right here in the center section that we're flying over right now, I had this root vegetable field, and I was so proud of it. I was like, man, I bet no one in the whole world has more beetroots, carrots, and potatoes than me. I didn't say that out loud. I thought, like, surely this field's not that big, but this is my little potato field. You know, you see the little potatoes and the carrots and such. But after a little while, I said to myself, that's not enough wheat. So I came over here and I started planting more wheat. So we did that there and here. And, you know, that wasn't enough. And so we had to plant more. And then gradually a little bit more. And then a little bit more. And I don't want you to think that, like, this is going to go on forever. Unfortunately, we're getting to the end of the wheat field. I mean, close to the end of it. We're not, like, at the end of it. But we're really, really close to the end of it now. Here you see the end of the wheat field. We've just been planting it there. It's not irrigated. This is like what I would have done like this morning or last night. But yeah, so that's the wheat field. When you're right here, you can see Wheat Mountain pop in from 32 chunks away. So a wonderful amount of wheat. And the eventual plan is that we're going to take it to that mountain there, and we're going to build a temple of wheat on that mountain. Maybe one on the other mountain too. But that's the plan. And I just chip away at it a little bit. But thanks for checking it out, and for hanging out tonight. And exactly, I did a little off-camera farming. I did a little off-camera hitting of wheat, but I always love my statistics. So I have used 184,000 wheat seeds in this world, which I think is a good number. And we've used the diamond hoe 262,000 times, but that's of course like for hitting trees or like the leaves on them and that kind of thing, or for farming any of the other stuff. Not that we farmed nearly as much of the other things as wheat, but the 184,000, that's a pretty good thing there. So you know, and a lot of that wheat is replanted. I don't want to act like we have 184,000 units of wheat. We don't. But that's the number we're at now, and pretty cool. Pretty cool, I think, that it keeps track for me, because otherwise I would just like estimate it and it wouldn't be nearly as impressive. But one day we'll have 200,000 wheat planted, and we won't even be to the other place yet, so excited about that. But unfortunately, I'm having the best time, but I've got to go to bed because I've got work in the morning. But it's a short day for me tomorrow, so I'll be streaming for several hours tomorrow night, and if you guys want to check it out, I hope to see you there. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Good night, guys.